And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Code for Giants Cup number 9. I'm, of course, Josiah VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the amazing people in the bracket, the people in the chat as well. Bienvenidos. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian-only StarCraft. Some Brazilian on Brazilian action. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Sefirofe. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Death Zone Gaming. It is TuKa. Let's go. But good morning, everyone. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you happen to be. It has been a day since our last broadcast. We were last live with ESL Americas. Now we're here with Code for Giants Cup. The previous edition of this tournament, we weren't able to cast live, but now we are here live and ready to go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. And best of luck in the chat with those predictions, because some of these players I'm familiar with, some of these I'm casting for the first time. Oh boy, as we are opening up with a bit of a cheeky 2-Rax Reaper, hidden 2-Rax Reaper here by our Terran player. Meanwhile, Sefirofe was an animal last time. Sefirofe, he's an ex-Brazilian caster, for those that are unaware. Did of course spend a long time casting many years in the past. Nowadays, a little bit less so, is now focusing on other endeavors, but is still part of the community, is still here to compete, to play, and to flex his skill. Last time he went up against Inexorable, a heavy favorite, but this time up against a bit of a newer face, a bit of a newer comer, so it's hard to call, I want to give the edge to Sefirofe, but oh my god, that is not 2-Rax Reaper. Wait, what is going on? What is happening, man? Oh no. As the probe is locked in, is forced to recall back home, and the scout is denied. Did see the first Rax, but the second Rax is now done. We're getting into Marauder production, and this could be the beginnings of one base all in. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm here. I am ready. As yeah, again, predictions should be closing up in the chat. Best of luck. Boys are being pulled. Let's go. Send it, Pappy. Send it. The boys are being pulled. Marauders are going to be rallying across the map. It's not going to be that many units to work with. 1 Marauder, 2 Marines. Meanwhile, Sefirofe is scouting towards the left-hand side. He's trying to get a read on what's going on. We have a safety zealot back at home. Stalker's on the way, but you know what I see? No shield battery. No. Oh, there we go. Shield battery now being thrown down. No, he thinks better. He thinks better of it. No shield battery. No overcharge. And can we pull this off? Can 1 Marauder, 2 Marines, SCVs in a dream break the main base of the Protoss? Shield battery now on the way, but that is a late shield battery. Probe scout coming in. TuKa pushing forward. Bunker on the low ground. Interesting choice as we're still rallying. Oh, the probe is going to be hunted down. We can focus on our push. TuKa pulling away. Coming back home. I mean, he does see the lack of natural, true, so the lack of expansion is telling TuKa that, hold up, my opponent is also playing 1 base, and that's a big reaction. We have 3 pylons, we have 2 shield batteries, we have a double gateway as well. Big reaction out of Sefirofe, and I actually like this call. A lot of respect here to TuKa. Again, he recognizes, hold up, if my opponent is not expanding, then there's nothing for me to really do here. Let's salvage the bunker, let's race back home, and let's get into a longer game instead. CC is on the way on the high ground, bunker is on the way as well, and now the turns have tabled. Suddenly, this defense from Sefirofe should turn into an offense. Twilight Council's on the way, still no expansion from Sefirofe. He's going to be doubling down, he's going to be committing, and back at home, TuKa, what do we have to defend? A decent Marauder count. Unfortunately, Marauder is going to be a little bit exposed. Concussive Shell is done. Stim is already being researched as we speak. And yeah, I kind of like TuKa's position. Our Terran player. Not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. Catching up. Only Brazilians? Yeah, only Brazilians. Chem is from Mexico, not Brazil. shaking my head as we're rallying back. I see in the chat, I don't know, Chem is the best in Brazil, South America. No. Mexico, papi, Mexico. Chem, he's part of the big trio in Mexico. He's part of Juanito, Jaime Rising, and Chem. And the best Zerg player in Brazil is Eric. Eric, of course. You have Eric, the best Zerg player in Brazil. You have Kelazur. You have Terran. You have Master. You have Shakti. You have Yen. There's a lot of big GMs in Brazil. If you're unfamiliar, let me introduce you. Let me introduce you, papi. Let's go. As we do see, Sefirofe expanding back at home, is not going for the one base all in. Is set up for one, don't get me wrong, especially with another gateway on the way, with Blink in production, but we are going to be expanding. Likewise, so is TuKa. And now that both players bounce off each other, now that we've calmed things down, the question becomes, where do we go from here? And who's going to be the first to move out? Honestly, it should be Sefirofe. Once Blink is done, there's not really much stopping the Protoss player from being active on the map and moving out across the map. Oh boy. Scan does reveal the expansion. Now TuKa is aware that, of course, his opponent is going to be expanding and getting into a longer game. Back. Oh my god. And now that he sees the expansion, he's like, yo, now you're expanding? We pull the boys, papi. Oh my, he's crazy. And here we go, the Marines, the Marauders, the SCVs, everything's rallying across the map. Stim is done. Combat shields, sorry, not combat shields, still on the way, but we have Stim, we have concussive shell at least. And with only one shield battery, with only one sentry, can we pull this off? It's gonna be close. And the army does Stim off, we catch a Stalker. Not bad. One Stalker goes down, Zelda earlier as well. And the boys are being pulled away. Shield battery is gonna be targeted. But Sefirofe is pulling back to the high ground. He's pulling back to the shield batteries. Remember, Blink is done. Yeah, we're running out of fire. We're running out of Marauders. The Blink is just too good, and we're running out of steam. Oh my god, the entire army crumbles. It's a meat grinder. The Blinks are too good, even without the shield battery. Sefirofe will shut this down. Did cost him 15 probes. 15 workers did fall, but now we have a massive army. We're going for a massive counterattack, and TuKa back at home. It barely has anything standing. No bunker, no defensive structures here, no tanks, no widow mines, no siege position here to take advantage of. TuKa is in a lot of trouble. In a lot of trouble at this one, and here we go, Sefirofe going for a massive counterattack. What do we have to work with? We have 14 Stalkers. 14! That's a lot of Stalkers. We dive in, we go for the dive, we pick off one of the Marauders, we snipe one of the medevacs as well. Nice pickoffs. TuKa trying to hold on. Desperately so, but again, at least without a bunker, like, what can we do? We can pull the boys. Let's go. You know what's impressive? TuKa pulled the boys earlier. He has a worker lead. He's on 34 SCVs plus mules. Like, if Sefirofe was passive, then TuKa could our Terran player could recover. But not here, not this time. As a tank has arrived, big tank volley going off. Let's go. Only 4 SCVs go down. TuKa still has the worker lead. Meanwhile, Sefirofe rotates, finds a random add-on. He's like, the hell happened here? It's like, what? Why is there an add-on out in the open? What happened in the early game? Oh, you don't want to know, papi. You don't want to know. Here we go. Sefirofe is going to be rotating around. Prism into the main. Oh, TuKa is going to be a little bit supply blocked. Has to try to break out. And we do bust in. Tank's in a decent position. Decent tank volley's going off. Oh, we're catching low. The move command! Oh my god! The move command into the army! Prism does survive, but Sefirofe slipping up hard. GG gets called! And TuKa takes game 1! Let's go! Oh my god! The move command! Sefirofe! Oh my god, GG, well played. TuKa able to survive, able to maintain. Mate, he had faith the entire time. Things were looking dire. Things were looking so dire when we saw Sefirofe counterattack, when the initial move out failed, when TuKa lost everything, when he lost all of his Marines, when he lost all of his Marauders. But alas, we saw that Sefirofe, he did him one better and lost most of his own Stalkers in the counterattack. Again, had a good start, but did fumble towards the end. And with that, GG. TuKa, our Terran, takes the lead. Let's go. Does take a lead. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. As a reminder, this is a best of 3. Best of 3 series here in the round of 64. Yeah, round of 64. Again, exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is massive. The bracket is, oh, huge. Round of 62 even. Sorry, 32. What I meant to say. 125? Oh, so many players. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up. Eric rings the bell. Papi. Eric, he's one of the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our boys, Papi. He's one of our boys. Rico. The timer keeps resetting. There was some issues early on. There were some issues early. It's all good. It's all good. Did have a bit of a slower start to the game. To the tournament, I mean. There were some delays, but it's all good. Everything is up and running. Everything is going. Sefirofe, he's upset about the cheese. I say upset. He's being cheerful about it. And here we go. We're jumping into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Site Delta. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. Down in the series, I was pinning him as the favorite player, not gonna lie. But down in the series, can he bounce back? Can he force the ace match? It is Sefirofe. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Death Zone Gaming. It is TuKa. Leading the series 1-0. Already crazy here. And again, it was a wild game. Remember, it started with a 1-base all-in, into a 2-base all-in, into a 2-base defense against the opponent's 2-base. It was crazy. It was nonsense. It was a lot of chaos going on in that first game. Game 2 has a lot to live up to. For the time being, Rax is in the main, but the first Rax was also in the main base in game 1 as well. So keep an eye on both players. Clearly, both players are willing to, play a little bit dirty as well and get into the thick of it. We saw something similar last week when we casted Sefirofe versus Inexorable. Sefirofe was hyper cheesy and hyper aggressive. Didn't quite work against Inexorable, but we'll see if he whips out here against TuKa. We shall see. The old comando de movimiento. Brutal. True. Oh my god. Yeah, we could. See Pashka in the chat, $45 prize pool. I believe something of the sort. I believe. 45 USD, which is 250. Oh god, what is the Brazilian currency? Is it rubles? Rupees? Hold on. Reals, that's it. Rupees, what? Are we in Zelda? Yeah, 250 Brazilian reals, man. Let's go. Which is pretty good, Brazil. Oh my god. I didn't realize that that zealot sword, it's like spiky or something, right? Oh my god. I didn't even notice. Jesus. That's pretty good. Behind this, Gate Expand. Sorry, Gate Cyber Expand here. Standard Opener out of Sefirofe this time. Likewise, we have TuKa going for a more economic Rax Expand as well, off of a single Gas Geyser, followed by a second Rax. This looks like a 3 Rax build. Okay. Fast eBay here from TuKa going into Fast +1. As the eBay is thrown down behind the main base. And we should be seeing a 3rd Rax. Should be. Keep an eye on TuKa. As there we go, we have the Tech Lab on the way. We should be working towards +1. And there it is. There's the 3rd Rax. So 3 Rax here from TuKa. This can hit very hard. This is going to be a stim timing from the Terran player. And it's going to be all about whether or not Sefirofe can scout what's going on and slow it down. Now, he's going for a Twilight Council opener. Already a good start for Sefirofe. Is going into Blink, throwing down additional gateways. So far, it's going to be 2-gate Blink from Sefirofe. Ideally, we want a 3rd gateway just to be safe, and we need to get a read on what's going on. We need to scout across the map, whether it's with a hallucination scout, whether it's with an adept, or even an observer. But moving out and getting a read is so important here when it comes to slowing down the push, being active with those Blink Stalkers, and trying to force out stims early on. See if Sefirofe can pull it off. For the time being, you know, we see our Terran player just embracing all these upgrades, massing up more Marines, settling into his own 2 basic economies. Safety turrets, a little bit overly safe, I would say, but okay. Just being safe and secure against Sefirofe. Meanwhile, ooh, I was expecting a 3-gate Blink opener. That's 4 gateways. 4-gate Blink. Suddenly, this defensive build is turning into an offensive one. Sefirofe is going to be in the face of his opponent, and honestly, I do think that this will favor Sefirofe. Sefirofe won't be able to scout. He doesn't really know what he's going into, but with all these Blink Stalkers, with all the micro potential as well, especially considering that this build from TuKa hits without any medevacs, I do kind of favor Sefirofe's position overall. But it does come down to the execution. Especially if the armies miss each other. TuKa, he's going to be skirting around the edge of the map with these Marines. Does make his way around the long way. And that means that Sefirofe, this Zealot, will not scout. Likewise, he's moving out as well. And there's a chance, if Sefirofe moves out through the center, and if the Terran army comes in from the right-hand side, then we could end up in a weird base trade. Of course, Sefirofe can always recall. He can recall back home. But this is going to hit like a truck, and I hope that we don't waste too much time at the 3rd base. We have to go for the kill. We have to go for the natural. Sefirofe pushing in. Army's revealed. What do? We're racing back. We're racing back home. Pylon is going to go down. We scan ahead of time. There's that recall. Stalkers have arrived, and yeah, these Marines, they shouldn't be able to do too much here. They take down the Pylon. They depower the Robo. But the Blink Stalkers can have their way with this army. No Marauders, only Marines. And TuKa gets 2 probe kills. Just the 2. Again, this is the power of 4-gate Blinks. So many Blink Stalkers. TuKa is scanning, looking for a 3rd base. Does confirm that there is none. But how many Marines was that? That was 19 Marines for 3 Stalkers. Aye. Brutal. Something that I should have mentioned as well, and an outcome of what just occurred, or a result of what just occurred, is if the Terran player identifies that it is Blink, which TuKa did not, then when you go for a 3-axe like this, you need Marauders earlier on. Instead of 19 Marines, it would have been less Marines, but like 3 or 4 Marauders. That would have made a big difference in that fight. Alas, now we're starting Marauder production after the fact, after we had lost the entire army. But again, this is something that should have been worked on if we had recognized that it wasn't a Stargate opener or it wasn't a Robo opener, for example. A Stargate specifically. So that move out didn't really get much done. Sefirofe likewise getting ready to reserve counterattack. Dipping in. Oh. Force back. This time has to respect the Marauders. Medevacs are on the way. As TuKa moves out, the Prism is moving in. It does hit the main. Do have some slow lots. They're not quite fast yet. No charge to speak of. Yeah, nice kiting out of TuKa. We'll shut this down. He's up the Zealots. Does it clean them up? And here we go, we're getting ready for the second wave. Now, this wave is going to hit a little bit harder. Do we have any Colossus back at home? We're going to have 1. We're going to have 1 Colossus. We have a shield battery on the way with an overcharge at both locations. And where does TuKa strike? Likewise, Sefirofe, does he have enough to defend? It looks like he should have enough, especially with force fields. Like, these sentries have a lot of potential to slice up the army, to cut it in half, or to force a choke point. We have not pulled the boys. Here we go. We are going to be stepping in. We get the Colossus. Oh my god, the force field with the late. Yeah, late force fields from Sefirofe. Aye. Gonna be able to shut down the initial Zealots. Sentries as well. Honestly, this has been a good trade. Not enough to kill, but enough to maim. TuKa pulls away. Does pull back. Another Colossus in production. Meanwhile, in the main base, War Prism. No! There's no Warp in! No warp in the prison does go down. Nice pick up here from the Terran player. So now we're going to be taking Explain to the third base. And TuKa's looking strong. He's looking good. The Colossus count is now that much weaker. The army as well. There's only one sentry, as the other two were sniped earlier. Charge is now done. But this mass bio style can definitely work out here, especially with only 2 Colossus, which the second one is about to pop. Meanwhile, Ghosts are on the way. It's going to be Marine Marauder Ghost. EMP is going to be available. Here we go. TuKa is going to be rotating, looking for a way in. Likewise, Sefirofe trying to keep up, fanning out his zealots. We drive those 2 shield batteries and the overcharge. Don't underestimate it. And we kite back, we pick off the zealots. It's also going down. Nice EMP. There's the overcharge. We have to respect it. Tank does siege. Another ghost has arrived. We have another EMP. We're waiting at the overcharge. He's running out in a couple of seconds. TuKa rotating towards the left. Sefirofe taking another base. But the Terran player wedges himself in between the natural and the third. But there's a third Colossus that's about to pop out with 3 Colossus. Can the Terran army break through? He gets one. No! He gets the Colossus. Gets it for free. We pull back to the tank. Nice EMP. And we're stimming on in. And this Protoss army is looking so vulnerable. Diving up the ramp. Zealot Warpin is going to finish though. Yeah, the Warpin does complete. Vikings rallying on forward, and we're running out of Marauders. We're down to a handful of them left. Is it enough? He wants it. He wants a Colossus. Can he get it? He can. Not quite. The Colossus survives just barely. And TuKa has to pull away. He was so close to breaking the Protoss. Again, we were down to what? 5 Stalkers, 2 Colossus. If TuKa had a handful more Marauders, or if the tank was a little bit closer and was able to get some shots off, then maybe a different game state. This tank, it's doing what it can. Oh no. Zealot is going to shut it down though. Just barely. Tank does fall. And what's terrifying now is that these 3 Colossus, they survived. Well, I mean, I should say 2 Colossus survived. We're now up to 3, and now we can start Immortal production. We're going to Disruptors as well. Sefirofe can refine his army. And TuKa was pretty committed. It's going to take a while to rebuild the Marauders, the Ghosts, the Bio Army, anything and everything. So down to 1 Ghost. So the Terran player has a lot of recovering to do. And yeah, this means that Sefirofe, he can finally get into his own. Finally calm things down, settle into his own game, and build up this death ball of an army. Now, TuKa is investing into Vikings. Vikings will help against the Colossus, definitely. Will help out. So the run by gets scouted. He's going to be shut down. Three SCVs do fall to the Zealot. Planetary is going to finish up. Can protect itself. And we're getting ready for that next wave. But again, this time we have Disruptors. They're coming. The balls. The balls are on the way for Sefirofe. Aye. Got Immortals to help out. We deny and cancel the 5th. Base is denied. So here we go. Sefirofe is going to be rotating. Does rotate towards the south, looking for another way in. Likewise. TuKa being active as well. Now we do go for the big stim. Once again, good concave here for the Terran. Oh, catching the Immortal. Not bad. Shields are stripped away. Zealorame gets 6 SCVs. Gets cleaned up. Sefirofe playing with fire right now. We have to pull away. Calm down. Jesus, that's a lot of Vikings. How many Vikings is that? 14! That's arguably too many Vikings. As we can chase this down. Stalkers coming in, but the Vikings, they don't care. Yeah, they don't care about the Stalkers. They're going for the Colossus. They're gonna get one, they're gonna get two, they're gonna get all three. And the Vikings gonna have to land. They can land behind the army. Never's going off. Takes out a Marauder. Land the Vikings, Pappy. Let's go. Vikings will land. We collapse on top of the disruptors. And with this around, TuKa is gonna shut down this army. Yeah, the Novas, they do not connect. They're not good enough. Zealots coming from right hand side. The EMP connects. The EMP. We shut the Zealots down, and TuKa snowballing out of control. He breaks through the 5th base. And we're looking to claim this series at 2-0 here. I was favoring Sefirofe earlier. And even game 1 was very shaky. It was very back and forth. But here in game 2, TuKa, he reached his final form. He's breaking on through. He depowers the Robo as well. And Sefirofe is up against the wall. Gonna try and collapse in with Mass Zealot. Gets a tank. Without an EMP, these Zealots, they do trade quite well. But GG gets called. There's just not enough Protoss, and TuKa will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the round of 16. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to TuKa, the Terran player, the Brazilian Terran, for taking the series. Again, I have never casted him before. I was more familiar with Sefirofe, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see TuKa doing well, performing well, and bringing him down. GG, well played. My condolences to Sefirofe as he does fall here in the first round, but congratulations to TuKa. Congratulations. Ooh, with that, we have some catching up to do. We do have some catching up to do, and no, we missed one of the we missed a series that I was looking at, but it's all good. It's all good.